Hi everyone, and welcome to the first episode of Ask Tug graduate series. My name is Olivia and I'm a copywriter for Tug Agency. I'm here with Holly, our social media manager at Tug London, and she's going to answer some commonly asked questions that recent graduates might have on getting into marketing and advertising as a career. Hi Holly.
Hi, how are you?
I'm very well, thanks. So first of all, what did you study?
So I studied broadcast journalism at Leeds, which was a great course. It was super fun, super interesting, but I kind of got a bit bored of like reporting about council bins towards the end of it. So I thought, I'm not sure whether a career in journalism is really for me. What can I apply my skills to that isn't journalism? Because I didn't think it was the right kind of career or the right kind of industry for me to be in, but I felt that I had skills that could be applied. So yeah, that's kind of what led me to a career in advertising and social marketing.
So can you go into advertising with a degree that isn't related to communications?
So yes, I definitely think you can, because there's skills that you can pretty much take from any degree. My degree is in journalism. It's not a direct advertising degree, but yeah, there's so many different skills you can take. Whether that's I know people that did maths degrees that work in advertising. There's so many technical parts of it. There's so much different stuff you can do. Journalism for me was all about like meeting people, having the confidence to communicate with people, and all that kind of stuff, looking for creative opportunities. So there's so many different kind of degrees that you could do that you could relate skills. I think it's more just about how you relate your skills back to the degree. So for me, like when I went for grad interviews, I would say, I'd had to interact with a lot of different people through journalism, do a lot of writing and that kind of thing. So there's skills that you could apply.
Right. And did you work free? Did you do any internships while you were at university?
Yeah, so I worked 1 day a week at an agency in Leeds. I did it for free alongside my dissertation in my final year. I actually worked in the partnerships marketing team. I work in social media marketing now. And I was quite lucky to be able to do that because I didn't have another job alongside. So I wasn't trying to balance my dissertation, a paid job, and working for free 1 day a week. So I think it can be really difficult for grads who maybe like don't have the opportunity to just go and work for free and give up their time when they have so many other commitments that they need to balance. But I think it's just thinking about how you can like demonstrate passion in other ways and show that like you're interested in the industry and you're interested in the field, and kind of being honest with future employers too, and saying, maybe you didn't have the opportunity to do that volunteering due to circumstance, but you've demonstrated like your passion and your interest in other ways.
Okay, so what other ways would you say there are for people to stand out when applying for their first job straight from university?
So I think it's really important, even if you can't give up your time and work for free, you can express an interest. Say you wanted to work in social media, for example. So do you follow influencers on social? Do you keep up to date with brands, content? Do you keep up to date with campaigns you like? Do you write blogs? If you could write blogs in your spare time, or, just show that you've got an interest in the industry. What I did was I created like a portfolio, and in my portfolio, I'd included blogs that I'd written in my spare time. I included influencers that I liked, why I liked them, campaigns I'd seen that I thought was really cool. And also like for social media in particular, when I went traveling, used Snapchat to record my whole year and a half traveling. And I created like my own little mini documentary, just to show that although I didn't have experience necessarily in doing brands marketing, I did have a passion for social media, and it's something that I use every day. So I stitched it into a mini like documentary, or like just a mini video, and I took it to my grad interview, and I showed them it, and it went down really well because they hadn't seen anyone else do that. So it's just thinking outside the box a little bit and thinking about, when you go away, what are they going to remember that's made you stand out about your application? And as I say, that doesn't always have to be because your dad got you an internship with Saatchi and Saatchi because he's got a connection there. There are other ways to show your experience as well.
Oh, I didn't know that about you. You'll have to show me that video afterwards.
Sure.
So, what skills more generally are important for a role in advertising or marketing?
Um, so many, but I think some of the top ones are just organization, making sure that you're always kind of know what your deadlines are, what your priorities are, making sure, I guess if you work in like an account management type role that I work in, it's a lot of project management. So making sure you're organized and know how to kind of keep the work moving along amongst a lot of different teams. Attention to detail is a very difficult one, but everything has to be kind of double checked all the time. And I think like you just get better at that with experience. I mean, the skills like if you're good at maths, if you're techie, you think of advertising and you think of big creative campaigns, but like so much work goes behind that. Like, who are you serving those ads to? The money that goes behind those ads so that it's served to audiences. Like, those skills come from people who are good with tech and who are good with numbers and who work in the more numerical side of things. So there's so many different things to advertising. It's not just being like a creative designer. There's a whole team of things that complement different skill sets in advertising.
Brilliant. So what does an average day working at an advertising agency look like?
Oh, very busy. Generally, it's always starting the day by, well, this is my day anyway, checking the news, making sure you're on top of like industry updates so that particularly in social media, if something new comes out, you're like looking for opportunities to suggest it to your clients and you're proactive all the time. A lot of it is for me posting content, again, project managing to make sure that like designers are creating content and they're briefed in and copywriting's being done for social content. A lot of it can be reporting, so varied. There's so much different stuff that goes on in a day in an advertising agency. And if it's a Friday, beers.
Oh, that's a good one. Very important part of any job. For you, what's the most exciting campaign that you've worked on in your career?
Oh, that's a hard one. I would say two. The first one, in my grad role, I got to work on the John Lewis Christmas campaign, the social media part of that, and kind of creating content for John Lewis social channels. That was really cool. And then probably the unforgettable one is one that we worked on together, Live. The plastic pollution one I really enjoyed. So where we were raising awareness of kind of for WWF, the impacts of plastic pollution and how world leaders kind of needed to take global action to prevent it. So we got to work on a really fun advertising strategy, brief and creative work, which was really great. And we ended up getting, I think it's over 1 million petition signatures for that work. So that was an extremely fun one to work on. Yeah, I would say that's probably my highlight because we got to work on everything from like strategy through to helping out with the creative, through to the copywriting, to the scheduling, to the posting. Yeah.
And don't forget that we won an award for it as well.
Yes, and we won an award for it. I was like, do I say that? Is this getting like a bit boring now? But
yeah, that was a great part of it, winning the award, being recognised. So what do you love most about working in marketing? What excites you about a career in advertising?
I think that it's so varied. It's never like one day is never the same. I love just generally working with people. I like how you work in teams, how communicative it is, how there's so many different opportunities to grow your skills, whether that's presenting, client kind of servicing skills, learning how to deal with client situations, learning kind of like new business side of things, the actual creative skills of creating content. It's so varied. And I think like I couldn't do a job where every day was the same. And sometimes it's a lot and it can be full on, but it's extremely interesting and it's always exciting.
Great. So I think this is a topic on lots of graduates' minds at the moment. Do you think with COVID it might be more difficult to get a graduate job? And if so, how do you think graduates stay motivated and positive on their job search?
Yeah, and if I'm being honest, I do think it's a more difficult time. Like grads are hitting the industry at such a difficult time, and it's probably really hard to stay motivated. But just keep applying for jobs, keep finding ways to like show your passion, whether that's as I said before, like writing a blog in your spare time, following campaigns, making yourself stand out, keep applying, like don't give up or like lose motivation. It may take longer than it would have taken pre-COVID, but I do think that if you keep working hard and keep just showing that you have a passion and an interest, that it will pay off. And there will be a time where like the market bounces back and people need grads and they need extra support, because I guess right now teams are having to make cutbacks and maybe a lot of that workload, a graduate workload, is going on maybe more mid-weight people, and that won't be sustainable forever. So even whether that's a year or a couple of years, like there will come a time where you know, there is more opportunity, but just make sure you're not like wasting this 2 years now and you're using it to grow your skill sets. Like you can learn so much about advertising online as well. Like I see some people doing, like some universities offering now a degree in social media marketing, but it's like you can learn a lot of the basics of social media marketing through reading on Google, and like it's all about experience. Like you need that experience. So just use the 2 years to read about advertising. There's free courses you can do if you Google that. Like there's even skills that will put you ahead, like knowing how to do Excel, learning how to use PowerPoint. Like I haven't done that since primary school. So for me, that was so long ago that I just think if you have that a bit of time now, getting on top of those kind of skills will really progress you quicker. So it's just
Okay,
using time effectively.
great. That was really
Like that was like
interesting. Thank
the
you.
longest answer ever, but
I have
yeah,
one more bonus question for you.
yeah.
As a social media manager, which 3 accounts would you recommend people follow for social media marketing updates? Uh,
Did you add that in?
yeah, on the
Really?
spot, Holly.
Okay, I would follow. My favorite one is Social Media Today,
Mhm,
Sprout Social,
mhm.
Media Examiner. They're the three that I follow more for kind of like updates to platforms and updates to more technical sides of things and best practice for social marketing. They will tell you everything you need to know.
Oh, great. Okay. Thanks very much. That's been really interesting quizzing you on uh, your your career so far. Thanks very much, Holly, and thanks
You're a
everyone.
natural presenter.
Thanks everyone for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more Ask Chug graduate series coming soon.
Bye.
Bye.